Hi and welcome to lesson 4, the lead pipe. Before we get into that, I'd just like to tell you how I was lucky enough to meet Wayne Bergeron and play with him and see some workshops a couple of years ago at the Melbourne International Festival of Brass. And one of the amazing things that filled me with relief, knowing that what I'm teaching and what I do is on the right track, coming from someone like that, is he used to march around in marching bands, and he was a high pressure player using a lot of tension in the chops, and he'd cut his lips all the time, so there was constantly blood in his mouthpiece after doing hard gigs, and clearly that's a road to destruction, and he had to undo it. And somebody put him onto the Maggio monkey. Now, if you haven't seen the Maggio monkey, it's a picture of a chimp, and it's got a picture of the aperture, and that aperture is wide open. The face that the chimp makes, and I'd recommend the Maggio system to check out as well. And you can see all the muscles of the face all aiming in towards the aperture or to the corners of the aperture. That's where the strength is, to let the air come out of the aperture itself. So Alan Vizzuti talks about exactly the same thing, and it's everything that I'm covering here as well. Bobby Shue talks about the open aperture. Maynard talks about not pinching the lips down. Everyone wants to do it. It's what all the top players do. So I need you to understand how important this information is, and especially here at the lead pipe. Okay, so let's take a step back. Backswing, slingshot, visualizer, same thing. Mouthpiece. Now, here's what I consider the best trumpet lesson you can get, and I think pass this information around, show it to as many people as possible. Okay, so what's happening? It's the restriction or the acoustical properties of the lead pipe that create a feedback of the pressure wave that sets the tissue of the lip into vibration. So the tissue that you can see through the visualizer, the vibrating tissue of the lip, is what vibrates purely because of pressure in the body meeting atmospheric pressure, then the constriction of the lead pipe and the shape of the mouthpiece. They all come together to make this magical physics phenomenon, which is a standing sound wave. The mouthpiece isn't long enough to create a standing sound wave, but the lead pipe is. And so that's why Bill Adams teaches and endorses the lead pipe blowing. I don't like using the word blow, but I don't like using the word buzz. I'll come up with another word. But that's why his approach is all about getting a resilient and almost nasally sound out of the lead pipe, because that means that you're actually opening the aperture up and getting the resonance out of the body. Now, the thing is, people that don't even know about this often get to the same end by listening to their sound, and they go, well, my sound is pinched, or it's tight, or it's not resonant. And what you're actually doing in opening up the sound is relaxing and opening up the aperture. So this is just a way of ingraining, reprogramming the brain and starting from that, as opposed to starting from very, very tight and then slowly trying to open the sound up. We want to resonate from our first note. And as Arnold Jacobs says, he's had students that had 2 lessons, and the band director would come up and say, what's wrong with this guy? He can't read music, but he sounds amazing. He's got some sort of problem. And Jacobs would say, well, he's had 2 lessons. So the lesson there is that everyone can sound like a professional. We just need to encourage that. Okay, the lead pipe, check it out.